what? Why do you want to say it so fucking bad? It's one word. You feel me? And I can say it, nigga.
I always felt out of place. You know, I was always told I'm not black enough. And when you
You're
constantly
not-
hear that and you get beat down with that,
Sorry.
and you know, when I see a light-skinned woman, I actually, you know, look a little longer, or I might linger a little longer, or be a little more interested, just because of, you know, that consciousness that
I'm on the road to 1,000 followers. I mean, subscribers. What app are we on? And I just really appreciate all my people for, you know what, being there for me. Oh my God. What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to be reacting to Do All Black Men Think the Same? It's a Jubilee video. They've done ones in the past where it's like more so do all black people or do all white people or whatever. But I don't think they've ever done like a do all like a gender of a race think the same. But I feel like this is very interesting because there's a lot of, I think, stereotypes when it comes to black men. And certain things that hopefully they go over in this video, and I just want to see like the different perspectives and stuff, and maybe they'll have a chance to explain it in a good way. You feel me? I feel like do all black women think the same is coming soon. And you know what? I'm a black woman, so I'll be happy to participate. Anyways, let's get into the video.
I am expected to have a big dick. 3, 2, 1, go.
Does he? Why did he?
Nobody
I'm
knows,
not gonna
right?
lie. Personally, that's not no more like, I wouldn't say I expect like a black guy to have one, because I know that there are black guys with really small ones. I've seen it, but I don't know. I don't know where that stereotype came from, but I'm not gonna lie. It is a high percentage to have big ones. I'm just gonna say.
nobody disagrees.
Yo. Yeah, I feel like it's a stereotype. And we know that stereotypes aren't.
Realize that there is no such thing, because what you do is you put people into a box where they're expected to live up to a standard. And I feel like it's over sexualizing black men. You know, you should want to date someone more for the pleasure physically that they can bring to you. And I know I've talked to people personally who will be like, oh, you're lucky you're black, you have a big member. And I'm like, well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well spoken, I have a good sense of humor, I'm well traveled. Like, you go straight to like what's underneath my zipper.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience a lot of times, especially, you know, meeting different people. That's the expectation. And I just tell them, 2-inch Punisher, you know, don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's I think a lot of people watch a lot of porn too, and that's where it comes from. Like, when you watch a lot of porn, you see, you know, these mandingos and, you know, 10-inch monsters.
I feel the same way about like, so I'm black, right? Like the stereotype of all like women, black women have like a humongous ass or something, and like I'm like, I have, you know, I'm thick, but it's just frustrating. I think that that's like the first, like, why is that the first thing people think of when they think like big ass? Like, what? And like that we all know how to twerk, like stuff like that is just like, why is that on, why is it the first thing somebody goes to? So I can understand how that could get annoying. I never thought about it like that though, but yeah, I can understand that.
And they expect that to be reality, and a lot of times it's not, but that's the expectation that they have. So
Our audience submit hot takes about this group specifically, and they are hot. So, black men cheat on their significant others far more than other races.
Damn.
I'm just like, where is this study published? Did someone do some research where they calculated numbers over a given period of time?
The reason why I was going to
Yeah, why would somebody think that?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I disagree.
So I came this way because of the keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? in generally. Like you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
To prescribe this to race
Everybody
feels
cheat.
nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of of somebody that got cheated on by a black man. Like, it was like, yeah, black men cheat all the time. Come on, this doesn't even make sense.
Black men are attracted to big butts.
Do we agree with that statement, or do I personally?
I mean, there's nothing biologically innate to like black men to like ass.
I think it ties into hip hop and the whole strip club scene right now. We are so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right now it's all about who has the baddest ass. Who ass is 25 pounds with 2-pound legs. You know what I mean? Like that's hot for some reason. And I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me, like, but I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass though.
Bro, black people are funny, and if you ever try and roast one of them, they will roast your ass
One
so
of
hard
them?
that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
I don't know how to digest that.
I get what he's saying. I think black people as a collective are funny.
If you go to black Twitter, if you go to black Instagram, black
We're
Facebook,
fucking
like
lit.
you're going to laugh. So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it, because it's like,
So I guess it's like the question is like, black people as a whole, are they funny? Or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like, I think that's just the difference.
Yeah.
Black people as a whole, like, yeah, they got jokes, it goes back and forth, cool.
that's why I said as a
But
collective.
don't think that any black person you go to expect like a really good joke.
Exactly, because there's like really corny black people for sure. Like it just ain't hitting. You feel me? But I think as a whole, like majority of us are like hilarious. Even like the hood one, I don't want to say hood ones because I'm a black person, but the hood black people, the more, you feel me, Tyler the Creator type hood like black people, it's just, we're just funny. Like we're mostly funny.
The N-word should stop being used by all races. 3,
Disagree.
2,
I disagree.
1, go.
I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word, even slaves would use it to describe other black people when accepting their supposed oppression. So I just think, when I think about that, I don't think you can do anything to erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N-word as they were being murdered. So when I think about that, yes, I think the word should stop being used.
Personally, me, I feel like it kind of starts with us. The fact that we make it so cool within music and within like entertainment that it lets other people feel like they have a pass, or that it's okay.
You don't get no
because
fucking
my
pass.
favorite rapper said it, or I heard it here, or you guys say it all the time. How come I can't say it? But at the end of the day,
I just need to have something to say about that. That shit is weird to me when a person is just like of a different race is like, well, if you didn't say it, if they didn't say it in their songs, we wouldn't say it. Like, what? Why do you want to say it so fucking bad? It's one word. You feel me? And I can say it, nigga. But why is like, some people are like they get angry. You can say it, so why can't I? Like, what type of weird shit? There's like, I'm bisexual, but I feel like the F word, the F-A-G, is derogatory towards gay people. Like gay, not bisexual, gay. And it may be towards bisexual people as well. I just don't, no one's ever called me for being bisexual. I don't say that just for the simple fact it's derogatory. I don't say derogatory terms because it's disrespectful. I just don't do it. So it's not like, well, if this person didn't say it, I wouldn't. Like, how old are we, bro? Come on now. If you got a black friend that's cool with you saying it around them, then so be it, I guess. But otherwise, I don't see what the problem is not saying it. Like, it's weird to me.
it's black culture pain, and if anyone's going to be using it, it should only be us, and
Fact.
that's it.
You can't really own a word. I think, we can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it, I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power, because historically, it's like, right, historically, black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally a word that only has meaning because we add meaning to it.
I mean, respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only reason it's policed so much, and I feel like the only reason we even have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right, in several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment. There are, in the 90s, there was heavier women reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling it and things like that, but I feel like in those instances, nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like, oh, I don't know if like, you know when there are boundaries set. And that word is one of the boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to hear the like, if we use it, why can't we do that all the time with a bunch of different things? And I don't think this should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody, nah, I'm not.
Well, I think it goes back to what you're saying, boundaries. Because when you break down to inner communities where, you know, blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture, where there's like, it's 5 group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it. Like that happens. So it's like, we're having this broad conversation, and you know, I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like, it's such a convoluted, I guess, topic where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you're at. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people should say it. I'm just saying, if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact, in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community.
Hell yes.
3, 2, 1.
Everybody
go.
strongly agree. You better all agree. Hell yeah. That shit is ridiculous. I don't
A lot
even
of
know
us
why.
black men, we will rather be friends with the homie that, you know, probably has a rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I think that that's something that, you know, we got to work on as people, because my thing is, I don't understand the whole big phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you? Like, why do you feel like it's such like the scum of the earth?
And I also think it comes from religion, because I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the black community, you know, Christians. And you know, when you talk about the Bible, you know, they say, you know, homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people have that ingrained in their mind. This is absolutely not right. And for a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Hell yeah. And that's the thing. That's one thing I want to say, is that you can have feminine straight men, you can have feminine gay men, you can have completely masculine gay men, and you can have completely masculine straight men. I got confused. But I feel like people tie femininity to homosexuality or vice versa with women, and that's not how it is. And I think that's very toxic. You cannot tie those two things. First of all, masculinity and femininity are constructs, like they're abstract. You can't, it's different. Every country you go, almost every state you go, it's different expectations for these people. So I don't understand how you can even say this person is doing this, oh, they're gay. What? All I remember that gay is liking the same gender. If a nigga wanna go and get his nails done, that don't make him gay. If a nigga wanna go and even wear like some weird shit, whatever, that's on him. Like, that's what he like, but that don't make him gay. And I feel like people need to like get that out their head.
Men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. And so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree, because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community, but I
Very
know that in
big.
the Black church sphere, homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be. There's almost nothing worse than being gay, and I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all of the
Sure
other things
do.
that the Bible outlines that are not, holy, and then we just take homosexuality and we make it the worst. Granted, the Bible says it's an abomination, I get that, but the Bible says any sin will send you to hell, so.
Hell yeah.
You
You
can't
better talk
be
your shit.
pro-black and date a white person.
I want to give my opinion because whatever. And if you want, because somebody, one of my videos was like, you talk too damn much. And I said, you can scroll off this fucking page, sir. Sure can. Or speed up the damn video. I mean, you have full control of what you want to do on this side. So, but anyways, I feel like you can be pro-black and date whoever the fuck you want. Like, who the fuck cares? It's when people start degrading their race because to almost like uplift another one. So I think white people can be pro-black. You're for black people. You're for black rights. All this stuff. You don't have to date only black people. Shit don't make sense.
2, 1, go.
I think really the issue with this statement is, for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, interracial relationships, or they date white people and they forget who they are. And if you are pro-black, it doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the
That's a
person
fact.
if they stand on their morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally, me, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're pro-black for everything. Like, you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for everything black. So it's kind of hard for me to understand how someone can be pro-black and want so much for, the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that.
So are you saying that if you are black and you're pro-black, you cannot act on attraction to someone from another race?
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like, I'm saying if you're pro-black, you wouldn't
You're not
find
pro-black.
someone that's not black attractive to me. Not saying attractive, but you wouldn't even want to cross that line and even engage in a relationship with them. You can have like lust, like, hey, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally, you want black kids, you want black family, you want your lineage to carry on.
I don't know. I feel like the question in itself kind of like low-key negates the demographics of the country. I mean, black folks make up 13% of the country, roughly, and a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do, not who you decide.
Yeah, because at the same time, you can, like he said, you can be with somebody that's black and like, there's like racist black people too. Like people that just don't y'all's viewpoints don't align, so it doesn't really matter. Somebody's gonna be like, oh, that you dating a girl that's black, and she's like, those black ugly bitches, those this, that. It's not pro anything. They buying from these racist ass companies. They doing all this shit. Bro, that's not pro black. And so really it doesn't even matter. I feel like you just need to date somebody like is a good person. And if they're not the same race as you, then I think that it's just more important for you to make sure that you don't lose any of your morals or things that you think are important, and y'all can like come together and like educate each other. You feel me?
To be with.
My first response to that is like, what's the point of looking at people differently? It's like we get upset that people do it to us in generally, like looking at black people and judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them. Is like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people regardless of who they're in a relationship, depending on the color of their skin?
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you can be dating for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino, I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. And like, oh, okay, I see. Like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like you
I'm so
okay,
confused.
Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan
Why?
Peele, okay,
Oh,
I
'cause
can
they're
see
weird.
that. I can't think of another example, but I
'Cause
feel like
they're
I can
weird
tell,
white
like,
men.
okay,
I mean, black
like
men.
that's cool. You know, I'm happy, you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned
Oh, God.
partner.
Oh God.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned.
y'all better be honest.
I don't play them colorism games over here.
All right, so the reason why subconsciously for me, the reason why I feel that way is, growing up, I was always, bullied for my skin color. I always felt out of place. I was always told I'm not black enough. And when you constantly
You're not-
hear that and you get beat down with that,
Sorry.
and, you doubt yourself. And like I said, I grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a foster care system. So it took me a long time to figure out myself. And for a lot of times, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I used to hate the way I looked. I was like, I don't like being dark skinned. I want to be light. And I'm just being honest, but now I'm more comfortable with myself.
I guess I have a question. Do you think it's because you look at a potential partner as lighter skinned so that
Baby.
your potential children or so would be lighter skinned so they don't have to go through what you feel like you went through?
Nah, at the end of the day, for me, I'll marry whoever I seem fit. So it really doesn't, to me, matter about the skin color. But I will admit, subconsciously, I do think, when I see a light-skinned woman, I actually, look a little longer, or I might linger a little longer, or be a little more interested, just because of, that consciousness that I had growing up. So it's not something that I say that dark-skinned women are far unsuperior or light-skinned women are more superior. It's just because of the constant beat down and the constant hatred about me being dark-skinned and the way I was treated, that subconsciously I do think that way.
But do you feel like you have some sort of like self-hatred because of that?
Yeah, well, not anymore, because it took me a long time. I mean, this started happening, like I said, when I was 6, when I got in foster care. So, but now I'm more comfortable with looking at myself. I'm a good-looking, tall glass of chocolate milk, so,
Oh God.
I have a question. Like, do you at all feel like you've become the person that bullied you by then having this preference toward lighter skinned people as opposed to someone that would look like you?
I will admit, yes. I will admit that. And, like I said, we just shooting a realism. So I do agree with that, yeah. And I think that's why now I'm focusing on myself, and, being a part of this discussion is very important for me, because I'm starting to, realize that prejudice needs to go. And I see this a
I just want to say something, and I'm sorry that I keep talking, but like, I don't know. Like I said, I really like conversations like this, but I just wish that the stereotypes would like leave. And I mean that in the sense of even within our own race, the stuff that we say about each other. It's very detrimental to me. Excuse me, like even what he was saying, he didn't say anything wrong, and you can't really help how you feel and stuff like that. You just can only acknowledge it and try to work on it. But I don't know, I was having a conversation with somebody, and just like the stereotypes about black women and as them being a black man, it was just kind of like appalling, because a lot of the stuff that they were saying were things that every type of woman does, and it was just like the negative shit that some black women do, and it just like really like bothered me. So I feel like there's just a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to like colorism, racism, how we view ourselves. Like there's just a lot. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I said that, but like it was just on my mind.
a lot in the entertainment industry now, where they want a black woman, but they want your complexion. They want that light skin that look like she can go in between the white family and the black family. And I think I only speak openly about it because I know there's a lot of people who feel that way too, but they don't want to admit to it, or they don't want to express it and be rejected. So I mean, you see it in the media too, so I think that plays a big
that's a
part
fact.
in that too.
I currently go to therapy.
I'm about to
3,
start.
2, 1, go.
Damn.
Me my girlfriend's my therapist, but she don't like that. So I'm thinking
I
about
wonder
going
who his girlfriend
fairly
is.
soon just to speak my mind because I feel like there's a lot of
He is
things
so
that
cute.
you know everything's cool up front, but everyone has like something that's just like digging at them somewhat internally that you know may
What-
hinder them in
how
some
do-
sort of way. You know, and I feel like you know if you have that type of feeling, like you should go.
Yeah, therapy.
He's
can be
very
going to the
well-spoken.
beach
I
or,
like him.
Going out to eat or doing something that relaxes you. So
Physical therapy, going to the
Hold
gym.
on, hold on. we have to be able to draw a line.
I know what I'm saying. It's open to interpretation. I'm here
Well,
because
yeah.
I took it as like sitting in front of a therapist, someone licensed to do this. Do I do that? No. Do I find other avenues to relieve stress or whatever? Yes.
But you can't
Okay.
mix up self-care with therapy.
Okay,
It's
maybe
two
That's a
different
fact.
things. Yeah. I've been in therapy for quite some time, personal therapy, just for myself, just issues that I have internally that I speak with someone with on a professional level. I recommend therapy. Therapy is literally the best thing you could possibly
I
do.
recommend it
For
too.
me, I find therapy in my faith, you know, and I know there are a lot of people who they look at like, you know, the Christian church specifically and might not adhere to that. But I think in recent years, the church has been adding more professionalism to what therapy means.
Having these conversations, you know, for some reason, it makes you feel like less of a man because when we talk about therapy, you know, people like, really? You going to therapy? But when you think
Therapy.
about it, that's why a lot of people have anger issues. That's why a lot of black men have anger issues because
That's
you know,
a-
they
Ooh,
grow
I
up a
got
certain
something
way
to
or they
say.
face a lot of
Okay,
challenges.
I'm gonna say it. So part of me is just like a lot of the time I see black men will be like, well, no, I was taught not to be emotional, so no, I don't cry, no, I don't do this, no one cares about me, all this shit. And then it's just like, y'all don't understand that emotional, it doesn't just refer to crying. Emotional is like, you don't have a like handle on your emotions. So whether that being anger or whatever, it's like people are like, oh, I don't cry, I just hold it all in, and don't realize that you're literally either compensating, like you're masking, you're using unhealthy coping mechanisms, whether it be motherfucking gambling, drinking, smoking weed, yes, I said it, doing any other drugs, or sex, having to have all these people around you, whatever. That's not healthy either. Or you just go off on everybody and you think that is okay because you're a man and that's masculine and you're powerful. No, bro, all of it's unhealthy. You should be able to communicate. You should be able to, you know, let your feelings out regularly. I understand some people are like, well, I don't have anybody to talk to. And that's where therapy comes in because they're actually paid to do this. And they don't really, you know, they ain't going to see you on the street and be like, want to know what he told me today? Like, it's not like that. That's literally ridiculous. So I think that just needs to be taken into account, you know, when people are thinking about therapy.
Just say they don't know how to express it. So the first thing they do is they take it out on you or their girlfriend or their mom, and they
Right.
don't have someone or an outlet to express it. So I think we need to normalize going to therapy and not pushing it
Therapy.
off as
Where
a
you
white
from?
thing.
New
We need
York.
it. You know, we need healing, and we need somebody to talk to us.
I think healing trauma is going to help black people progress
Hell
instead of just
yeah.
getting more trauma piling on top of each other. And in a lot of ways, that does come into an aspect of personal responsibility because it's like my issues with my dad at a certain point has nothing to do with him anymore. At a certain point, it has to do with me and how I process it. And I have to go from, do I want to get angry every time I'm in the same room as him, or do I want to be able to walk in the same room as him and not have that reaction? And that was
Right.
what I processed in my head when I was going through that therapy.
Okay.
My father was present in my life.
He was there sometimes,
2,
but he ain't
1,
shit, so
go.
he like terrible, honestly.
Not to jump into this one, like I absolutely love my dad. I'm even getting a little emotional thinking about my dad. My dad's amazing. My dad was there for me in every way, shape, or form, every facet, every way that he could be there for me and more. He was there for me. He was there to pick me up from school. He was there at my soccer games, my track meets. He was my coach for soccer one year. My dad taught me everything that I know almost. He is who I model my personality after. He is who I aspire to be. I don't think I could have had a better father. It's almost why I'm discouraged to have kids because I feel the pressure to live up to the example that he set for me. So he was there, still is.
I said somewhat disagree because I ended up being put in foster care when I was 6 years
Right.
old. with a couple of my younger brothers, and I remember. I don't remember what my dad looks like, but I do remember he passed away when I was around 7 or 8. So I can't really fault him for that. But you know, my mom, she was widowed, so she lost a husband, and she decided to take care of us. And I don't think my life would be any different. I don't regret not having a dad, but sometimes I do wonder, you know, secretly, you know, what life would have been like if I had that fatherly figure in my life. And I think that's another stereotype that, you know, black men don't have their fathers in their life. And
That's a fact.
it's
I mean,
good to
I know a
see,
lot of black
you know,
dudes that don't,
a lot of y'all out over there.
like a lot.
For me,
But
my
I know a lot
dad
of white
was
kids
not
that
as
don't
present
too,
as
so.
he could have been. He's a typical older Belizean dude. Their culture is just very different from American culture. It's very passive aggressive. I remember times being young and I would question my mom all the time, like, hey, like, you know, why is he not around? Why is he not there? And, you know, she did the best she could as a single mother. Now I can say my dad is very present in my life.
Mine still ain't. He's
However, I
shit.
feel like our
He ain't
relationship is
shit.
very, like, financial based, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I don't have a real connection with my father. Like, he's there for me if I need something, like if I need to, like, if I want this, if I want that, like he's always there for me, like money wise, but I feel like I'm still like desiring for that real connection. Like how you mentioned how you have that mental connection with your father. Like I feel like I don't have that. So that kind of puts a desire into me to where I'm desperate now to be a father. Not desperate, but I'm desperate to be a father that I want to do it right and give the things and, you know, make sure that I nurture my kid more than just the money aspect of things. Like
Right,
I want to
'cause
be
that's-
there,
yeah.
you know, and always possible. I kind of feel like now I kind of just suppress it and try to ignore it because he's here now, which I definitely feel like I shouldn't do.
I think that it's never too late to mend a relationship. It's never too late to rewrite the story. I mean, you can't go back in time and change
Completely too
anything.
late. I think he's saying that because he doesn't understand. Sometimes your relationships, regardless of who it's with, it's they are toxic and they're not healthy for you. And I feel like the longer, like in my situation, it's just pointless. It's been tried on my part multiple times, and it's just not going anywhere. And it's like you can't keep doing it. So sometimes you gotta let that shit go. I think it is too late. I don't think you can mend something that has been so torn apart and you've been so hurt by. You feel me? That's almost like going back into a toxic relationship. It's the same thing with parents. And sometimes you can still love them, but sometimes you gotta do that shit from a distance because at the end of the day, it might be hurting you more than it would be positive if they were there all the time. So that's just my take on it.
Definitely mend the relationship, because although I have a good relationship with my father, relationships are constant maintenance and their work. And I know that parents can be toxic too. They can break your heart more than anyone else can. I'm not saying that your dad did. But maybe you should start today. Give him a call, invite him out for a coffee, you know, start somewhere.
Father's Day coming up, dog. You know what I'm saying?
How long was this shit
That is
filmed?
officially a wrap.
Hey!
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, like I said, I think it's harder. It's easier to say than it is done when it comes to relationships and all that shit that comes with it. You feel me? So it is what it is. But I feel like this is really interesting. I'm really glad that most of them did have like a present father in their life, and I feel like that'll just like stuff like that is good for other people to see, other races to see, because I do think there's a stereotype that our dads are just like terrible, and even though some of ours are, like the same thing goes for white people. Every group of people, like that's just toxic, and that's not just dads, it's moms too. And I think it is important to ask these questions just to, you know, this was seemed like a very diverse group of black men. You feel me? Like, if you get what I'm saying. And I just think it's an interesting conversation, but they probably have already filmed it if they did. I'm excited to see the black women one. Do all black women think the same? Because, you feel me? That's right up my alley. But anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on Twitter too. Be in the description. Check out some of my other videos as well. You feel me? I'm on the road to 1,000 followers. I mean subscribers. What app are we on? But I'm on the road to that shit, yeah, right? It kind of happened all quick. I'm at like 730 something. And I just really appreciate all my people for, you know what, being there for me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one.